my, the atmosphere of this episode of Tokyo Ghoul Route A. The atmosphere, man. It's the way the tone of the episode is, like the straight up tone of this episode, it's depressing. It really is. Like, majority of this episode is a depressing atmosphere cast above this entire episode. Like, anyone that's anime only or manga reader could feel the tone of this episode, of what this episode probably means. Like, this episode was the calm before the storm, or the setup for the ending. That's exactly what this episode was. You see how all the characters that we have seen from Tokyo Ghoul, are thinking in their mind, talking about what most likely they're gonna do, or you have it to where they're, recessing their thoughts to where, like, if this is my final time, my final fight, if I die, what do I want to write on this letter? Stuff like that. And when you see this episode slowly unfold before your eyes, you're just taken aback, because the beauty of this episode is not in the way the action was stated or how the characters were just progressing from point A to point B. The beauty of this episode that makes this episode just amazing in my eyes is the way the atmosphere and the music. The music was the biggest factor when it comes to this episode, along with the tone, because the music in some of these fights, especially when you got to see the black dog and you got to see the devil ape show their mask and we get to see them starting to fight in this episode, the way the music was done in those fights, the sad music and all that as they're fighting, because this isn't a fight for actual just survival. This is a fight of punishment. This isn't, something that you should say, oh my god, this is 100% kick-ass because they're going to beat the shit out of these people and they're going to live. The way this fight is being set up, which is very, very, very obvious with this episode, is that this is the final battle that these ghouls are going to fight in. This is the final time that they're going to get to demonstrate their, own past history of what they've done, what they've committed, and, with this, final battle, what they're doing, it's like they're using this fight as punishment. They are willing to accept the crimes they have done, and to see how this fight is not purely based on just, let's say, like a standard fight, like CCG versus a ghoul just trying to exterminate the ghoul. This fight is more sentimental, and it has a lot more value to the grand scheme of things and these characters' psyche, because it mainly represents what they have went through, what they have done in their past decisions. Like, you have it to where our favorite old man of the series that's faking to be the owl, he steps up and he's like, I truly am evil. I am conscious of my evil. He's like, and he looks over to them and he's like, I know I'm evil and you all are evil too. And when you see that, you're like, oh my god, just the words and the dialogue, the way they were done in this, it's just, I fangasm. I straight up fangasm, because this episode, the way it's done, this is how a Tokyo Ghoul episode should be done. As I have clearly stated multiple times while reviewing the anime and the manga, Tokyo Ghoul is not about the fights. It's 100% not about the fights. This isn't a battle shonen series. I know it's a seinen, but this isn't like a battle shonen. It's not supposed to be like that. Tokyo Ghoul is a series based on character interactions and the tone shifts, along with getting to see the weight of what these characters carry. And to see how all this weight on these certain characters are coming together in this episode, like, the devil ape, the black dog, and then the old man owl, just, it's impressive. It really is. You gotta love how Ishida adds stuff like this. The way he can add so much weight on these characters, even characters that we barely have seen or have barely had any massive development, you could still feel for them because of the way it was perceived in the series. I mean, I want to be straight up honest. The devil ape and all that's been, talked about in foreshadow for quite a long time. I mean, you've had the dude, the bartender, he's like, oh yeah, I used to be the devil ape. He constantly said that, majority of watchers or readers, when they first saw that, they would, take it as a joke, like he's joking around, or you wouldn't really take it 100% serious. You come to find out with this is that he was a truly magnificent ghoul that was scary as fuck in the past, and just all this foreshadowing and build up with these characters and the weight they must carry. It's amazing. I really, really love this episode. Like, the first half of the episode is straight up depressing when you get to see certain scenes in this episode, especially the CCG side. Like, the first half of the episode is mainly CCG. The second half of the episode is the Ghoul side, and that's the main format of this episode. It's split into two different formats. You get to see the perspective of CCG and what they have to deal with when they're going into their operation, because this can be their final time they ever can see someone they love. This will be the final time. That's, what these people at CCG are thinking. And then on the other side, the Ghouls also realize what's going on too, and this is possibly their final time to ever see either of the people they love. And so both sides are contemplating of what is going to happen next, and they don't know what is going to happen, because anything can happen at any given moment. And that right there, I love that. That's why I have to say, I really love Tokyo Ghoul Route A. Say what you will, I am a manga reader, and I do know there's a lot of things I wish they would have added into this anime, but I can't deny the beauty when it comes to some of these scenes. The beauty of these scenes, especially with the way the music is done, and the atmosphere, the way the characters are perceived, I think it's done better in some points, even in the manga. Now, there is some scenes that, the manga definitely does better, but when it comes to the grand scheme of things, when the scenes do get adapted, and they do get, pretty much good development, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful in this anime, and I love that. I really, really do. The only thing that really disappoints me when it comes to this episode, the only thing that disappoints me, is Shu's development in this. Like, majority of anime-only watchers walking into this episode, if you haven't read the manga, you're gonna be confused as fuck about Shu. Like, I mean, you would understand what she was trying to do, because it's explained and it's very obvious, but you won't understand the true emotional value out of that scene if you haven't read the manga, because if you've read the manga, you would understand the true value behind why that was such a sad scene for Shu, because it just meant a lot. I don't want to spoil the events of the manga if some of you want to read the manga, because you really should, since the majority of this is slightly anime original, but the way it was done, that's my only disappointment. It still got the point across, it did. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the point got it crossed, and you all understood if you, been paying attention to the subtle details, but besides that, the overall execution of it could have been done a little bit better. Now, episode as a whole, I can say I really like this episode, especially with some certain scenes that were anime original that was done in this episode that took me by surprise, like the Toka scene. The Toka scene with Yomo in this episode, that right there shocked the fuck out of me. Like, I am shocked, unbelievably shocked. Like, I'm not gonna exactly reveal why I'm 100% shocked. Manga readers will know why I'm shocked, because I don't want to spoil you anime-onlys, but I'm shocked with that anime original scene quite a bit. And to see how the anime original scene was done, oh shit. Like, that, yeah. It just, I'm not even going to dive into it, because like I said, that's spoiler territory. Not even going to dive into that scene at all. So, yeah. Episode, Tokyo Ghoul Route A. Personally, entertainment value. 10 out of 10 episode. It was. Like, I had so much entertainment just sitting down watching this episode. And that's all I ask. That is all I ask out of my anime. That's all I ask when I sit down to watch an episode. Entertain me and make the time pass by and make me mesmerized by the beauty of the series. And that is what Tokyo Ghoul Route A did this week. So you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.